You are finally pregnant and very excited about this new life growing inside you. But what is really going on during those first 12 weeks? I am Dr. Mauricio Levin, board-certified OBGYN, and today we'll be discussing all the amazing things that happen during the first trimester. This is Preggy Pulse, episode 90.
Is that a plus sign?
Pink or blue? Hospital or home birth?
What type of food should I be eating?
I think I just peed myself. I'm pregnant and I have to exercise.
What pregnancy glow?
Wait, was that a contraction?
Gotta make these pants fit. I've got kinkles.
What do you mean there's more than one?
You've got the symptoms, and now you've got the support you need for a happy 9 months. This is Preggy Pals, your pregnancy, your way.
Welcome to Preggy Pals, broadcasting from the Birth Education Center of San Diego. Preggy Pals is your weekly online, on-the-go support group for expecting parents and those hoping to become pregnant. I'm your host, Annie Laird. Thanks to all of our loyal listeners who have joined the Preggy Pals Club. Our members get special episodes, bonus content after each new show, plus special giveaways and discounts. Another way for you to stay connected is by downloading our free Preggy Pals app, which is available on the Android and iTunes marketplace. If you're not able to be in here, we broadcast from San Diego, so you might not be able to get in here on a weekend during a taping, but you can stay involved in our program by becoming involved in our virtual panelist program. You can go online and submit questions, and our expert panelists will be answering them on the show. And you can participate in conversations from anywhere in the world. See our website, www.preggypals.com, for more details. All right, so welcome to Preggy Pals, everybody. Let's get started with our panelist introductions. I'll start off. I'm your host, Annie Laird. I have 3 girls, an elementary school age daughter, and then 2 daughters who are toddlers, very close in age, Irish twins. So a newborn, and it's almost like having twins. So it keeps me busy, keeps me on my toes. My day job, I'm a government contractor. I teach. So, Janine, on to you.
I also have 3 daughters. They're 5, and my twin girls are 2.5. And I am a birth educator and doula, and just starting to put my foot back out in the world. I was a school teacher for several years before having children. And so I am excited about being a part of the birth world.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nancy.
Hello, I'm Nancy. I work with Annie as a government contractor with Lockheed Martin, and my husband and I are expecting our first baby in May. We've been a 2-pug household for 4 years now.
You have your fur babies.
So
it's very important.
Yes, this is our first baby girl that we're expecting, so we're very excited.
Awesome. Today on Preggy Pals, we're doing an app review. The app that we were reviewing is GS Preschool Games. Now, this is a free app. It's designed for kids in the age group from 3 to 6, although I did have my 8-year-old review it as well. And, she was playing on it for a while. It got her off of watching Little Sister Duty, so she was very into that, playing games on my iPhone. I don't let her have my iPhone a lot. The description of the app is that it fosters learning, imagination, and free play, and it also says that kids enjoy playing these games for hours without getting bored, at the same time learning skills which are carefully incorporated in the design of each game. You guys got a chance to play around with this app. I'll let you share what you thought about it, and then I'll share what my 8-year-old said.
My daughter, frequently, if she's up from her rest time before my younger ones are up, I'll let her play a little bit on my phone. Mm-hmm. So, I could see her having a little bit of fun with that and having those 9 different choices. She certainly would be able to go back, like, oh, I'm done doing this, go back and do something else. Would definitely keep her engaged, I think. And it would, it's nice that, that it would tell you what to do and she can follow the directions. It's a way to learn, listening and doing and following directions. So.
And cleanup looks like a breeze, too.
Yeah.
I'm sure with all those puzzle pieces around, it's pretty difficult. These are all, I'm looking at our small square footage, and I think these type of games are the direction I'd like to go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Nancy, just wait for all the Legos to come out. And then, you always miss one of them. So that's a nice thing with iPhone games is, there's not all the pieces to be cleaning up. You don't have to be dealing with that.
That's where the pugs will come in, because they'll find those.
Oh,
they'll find them,
So what do you guys think? Thumbs up, thumbs down on this app?
Thumbs up.
I think it looked
Thumbs
interesting.
Up? Yeah. My 8-year-old liked it too, so she resisted me taking the phone away from her eventually. So I think across the board, thumbs up from all 3 panelists. Today on Preggy Pals, we're starting a brand new series, and it's focused on all of the different trimesters of pregnancy. Our expert who is joining us to talk about the first trimester is Dr. Levine. He's an active staff member at Sharp Chula Vista Medical Center and Scripps Memorial Hospital in Chula Vista. He is certified by the American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology and by the American College of Obstetrics. Dr. Levine, welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Now, how are the trimesters normally divided up? I think, I used to get so confused, especially my first pregnancy, looking online, and I think that's especially with first-time pregnant moms, you know exactly that you are 10 weeks and 3 days pregnant. On my third pregnancy, I had a couple of miscarriages, so it was like my seventh pregnancy. I was like, somewhere in the first trimester, but I think it is confusing of where's that break that normally obstetricians have. Okay, this is the first trimester.
Yeah, we count the first trimester as the first 12 weeks of pregnancy.
Okay.
The pregnancy, as you know, it's 40 weeks. Mm-hmm. Starting to count from the last menstrual period, count the weeks. But really the pregnancy starts at the time of conception, 2 weeks after the period.
Okay.
Many patients are confused because they're asking about months.
Right.
But we tell them it's more accurate to say that the due date is at 40 weeks after the last period.
Okay.
And the first trimester ends at 12 weeks.
Okay. So generally, if you're talking like a 14-day luteal phase, so from the period starts to the time of when you actually get pregnant to conception, that's 2 weeks right off the bat there. So you're saying that 12 weeks includes that first 2 weeks
yes.
of the when the period starts.
From the last period.
Okay.
And I want to be clear with that because sometimes patients get confused.
Yeah. Now, what kind of stages does the baby go through in the first trimester? We talk about baby or fetus, or I know there's a lot of other technical terms of what stages that the baby goes through.
The first trimester, we are going to talk about the embryo, not the fetus.
Okay.
So it's the embryo where it's getting formed. All his different organs are being formed, and we consider fetus after 20 weeks. So the first 12 weeks is just the embryo. That's where it's so important that patients are being careful not to be exposed to different type of toxins or things that can harm the pregnancy.
Right.
Many patients don't even know that they are pregnant.
Yeah.
But the time where you really want to be careful not to be exposed to any teratogen, like we call, it's before 12 weeks.
Well, I imagine during that first trimester, that's really when all of the organs are just forming of this cell becomes a liver cell and this cell becomes a cell that's going to be in the eye, and it's pretty amazing.
Exactly. By the 8 weeks of pregnancy, the embryo, which you say, it's already formed.
Mm-hmm. Now, the baby kind of starts off with a tail, doesn't he or she? Or when does the tail kind of go? It becomes the tailbone, right?
Yes, each time we're going to see the development each week. But as I said, by 8 weeks, the embryo is already formed. From 8 to 12 weeks, it's growing. And the exposure to, like I said before, toxins are going to be worse after the 2 to 4 weeks of pregnancy.
Now, what kind of toxins should pregnant women? I wouldn't say can maybe worry. You don't want to worry too much. How many pregnant women? I'm sure you hear this a lot in your practice. They come in for their first prenatal and say, "Oh, I had a good time out with my husband, and we split a bottle of wine, and I didn't even know I was pregnant." I mean, is that something that women should be worried about? Or?
Yeah, it happens very, very often, but patients don't know they are pregnant. Sometimes they even come on the second trimester because they just have irregular periods and they don't have any symptoms.
Yeah.
Other patients have a lot of symptoms from the beginning.
Yeah. How common is miscarriage during this stage of pregnancy?
Miscarriages approximately happen 15% of the cases.
Did you say?
Depending
did
on
you say
15?
Oh,
15.
Okay.
No,
Woo!
15.
Oh, wow.
Depends on the age.
Yeah.
For example, in elderly patients could be a little bit more often, up to 20%.
Okay.
Younger patients could be between 12 and 15%.
That sure seems like a really high number. I guess, when I had my first miscarriage, I had no idea until I started reaching out to other women just how common that it is.
Yeah, it's very common, and the most common reason for miscarriages are chromosomal abnormalities. Where, as I said before, if it happens at the time where it's going to affect the whole embryo, the body miscarriages.
Yeah. I don't know if either of you guys could chime in on that, at least with my personal experience with that. I think that that was a bit of a comfort to hear from my doctor, hear from my midwife that, likely it was, nothing that I personally did. It was just miscarriage is one of those very sad, unfortunate things. It was just kind of, I got unlucky, so.
Yeah, I've had a lot of friends that I haven't experienced one myself, but it's certainly, like you said, is so much more common than I would have thought now with my friends all being at, childbearing and how many of them have experienced it and recognizing, that it's a loss. And they really, it took some time to process and to try again.
Yeah.
And then recognizing that it was probably for the best, whatever reason, that pregnancy ended. Like you said, there's some sort of complications in the embryo that baby would have had problems maybe later. So it's the body's way of
it's the body's way of rejecting
out.
It before it happens to have a malformation where the miscarriage doesn't occur, and then they can end up having a malformation on the baby.
Yeah.
So it's better for the body to reject it when that occurs from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very just tough subject, but one that I think is so prominent within that first trimester, especially after a woman has had a miscarriage. You're a little bit on pins and needles the next time around, waiting and I almost feel that, and Dr. Levine, chime in if this is the case or isn't the case, of just the fact of a woman can get to that first appointment, get through the first trimester, have a heartbeat. Usually everything at that point is pretty straightforward.
Yes, plus many patients that already experienced the miscarriage, as we said before, it's pretty common. They come very scared for the second pregnancy.
Yeah.
And it's important that patients and listeners to understand that it could be recurrent, but it is unlikely. Most of the times it happens one time and then patients have normal pregnancies.
Yeah.
There are certain conditions where there could be an habitual abortion where it happens repetitively, and then we have to do some workup. Why is the reason?
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that people understand that most of the times it is only one time, and the future pregnancies could be as normal as and uncomplicated as any pregnancy.
Yeah, that's great to hear. All right. Well, when we come back, we're going to be discussing what kind of changes are going on with mom during the first trimester. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Today we're talking about the first trimester of pregnancy with Dr. Levine. Now, doctor, what kind of changes, we already talked before the break about what was going on with the embryo and what was going on with the baby, and why it's so important to avoid toxins, as you were saying, because that embryo is developing. But what's going on with mom's body as far as physical changes that's going on with her?
Like we said before, some patients don't even know that they are pregnant on the first trimester. Some others expect changes in their bodies. The changes mainly are physically, for example, breast tenderness, frequency urinating, nausea, vomiting, sleepiness or tiredness. People are very tired. And that happens because the hormones are increasing. The main hormone in pregnancy is the HCG. That's the gonadotropic chorionic hormone. And that hormone goes up since the conception. Let's say by the week 6 to 8, that's when people start becoming symptomatic, becoming to be nauseous and vomiting. I reassure my patients by 12 weeks, that hormone goes to the peak.
Yeah.
Your body gets used to it, and then the symptoms disappear 99% of the cases.
Yeah.
Now, these symptoms can be mild, moderate, or very severe. In the mild cases, patients can just go by changing the diet, stop having greasy or spicy food, eating more crackers, for example. I tell them, don't worry if you don't eat for a few days, but drink. And drink a lot of water, keep hydrated. If that doesn't work, then we treat them with medications like tablets, sometimes suppositories, even injections. If that doesn't work and patients get dehydrated, sometimes we have to put patients in the hospital. I've had patients that they are really very sick. We call it hyperemesis gravidarum. And it's important to reassure the patient, no matter how sick you are in the first trimester, your pregnancy is going to be uncomplicated, passing 12 weeks. Yeah. And most of the times, after 12 weeks, all these symptoms go away.
Yeah, that does seem to be the major complaint, I think, during first pregnancy, at least among my group of friends, is just, I feel so nauseous. Or, what about the other panelists here in the studios? During your first trimesters, and Nancy, now you're well in your second trimester now. What was the major complaint? Was morning sickness it, or was it something else?
I was very sleepy, and then I developed that superpower of super scent, which was not as cool as other ones, but I had to change my deodorant even because I just could not handle the smell.
Yeah.
I got the excuse not to have to cook dinner too much because handling that raw meat just kind of felt queasy. So that was mostly my two big things, and now those are gone.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It was a very big difference.
Yeah. My first pregnancy, I couldn't handle any kind of raw pork, which was terrible because I had this great recipe for a grilled pork tenderloin. And we had it at least once a week. But like you said, you get that super smell, and
I
it's
could
just
not even think about it.
Yeah.
I have a lot of patients that come on the second trimester, and they say, "Oh, you were right. I feel perfect." And I didn't believe it when I was so sick at the beginning.
Yeah. Did you experience any kind of nausea or anything like that?
Terrible morning sickness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that with both of your pregnancies?
Yes. The first one was pretty severe, but then being pregnant with twin girls,
Oh,
my
okay.
gosh, I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
It was really intense. I had what you were saying, that I think it would have been diagnosed as the
hyperemesis.
Yeah, I needed to use suppository, like everything, because I couldn't hold anything down. So it's pretty, and you wonder, how long is this going to last?
Yeah.
There's no way I can make it 40 weeks, but
I remember with my third baby, my husband was deployed, and you have those thoughts of just like, no, it would be okay if I would die right now.
Yeah.
And because I feel that miserable.
I'm glad you say that, because I feel bad having that I had those thoughts, but I was just like, take me away.
Yeah.
It's that intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so, yes. It was awful.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't, and Nancy probably knows this, I wasn't intending on telling people at my day job that I was as pregnant as early as I was, but it was just...
You couldn't hide that.
I asked Annie, that new ginger ale type, how do you like that? And it was literally, I'm pregnant. What? I can't even. That was pretty funny. I was just trying to get a product review on a new ginger ale. So I was kind of, and then
she's a little sensitive about, like.
But I didn't want to whisper it around the office. Oh, Annie's pregnant.
Yeah, well, especially since I'd just been hired there too. I think I was new at the job within like 3 months or something. So, but yeah, I was like, I just couldn't hide it. I was just a particular shade of green.
Well, I'm surprised you could go to work. I literally was laying on the couch.
Well, it sounds like I didn't have it as bad as you had.
Like,
Yeah.
laid out.
Mm-hmm.
Someone please parent my older child, because I cannot.
Well, that's what Nick Jr.'s for. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, we watched a lot of Einstein Baby, whatever, something or other.
And what happened after 12 weeks? You felt
I did feel a lot better.
better.
It took time. It took maybe into the 14 weeks, because it took a
I
little
usually
time
tell
to
my patients
taper.
between 12 and 14 weeks you are going to feel perfect.
Yeah.
You can still tell your husband you are not allowed to cook.
Right. Yeah, I can't. And by the time I felt better nauseous, then I was so uncomfortable big, because I was
Yeah.
pregnant with twins. So it was a whole different world of uncomfort.
Now, Dr. Levine, is there anything to, and maybe this is just an old wives' tale, that women that are pregnant with girls have worse morning sickness than
I really
with
don't
boys?
think it has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
With
I was
More
hoping you'd say
hormones.
yes.
the sex, I think has to do with the hormones and the way the body reacts, as I said, to the different hormones. The HCG, as I mentioned before, is the one that's rising, and at the time of the peak at 12 weeks, that's when they feel better. Now, we have to remember that also the estrogens are increased, the progesterone is increased. That's why people complain of breast tenderness, because you have an increase on the amount of estrogen. There are changes that has nothing to do with the sex of the
Right.
embryo, I should say.
Yeah.
Now, what can mom expect as far as prenatal care during her first trimester?
On the first trimester, we want first to find out and confirm that the pregnancy it's alive and it's in the uterus. Screen the patients for anemia. Screen the patients for other infections. Mainly in high-risk cases, we can offer prenatal screening as far as genetic counseling and educate the patients basically on what are they allowed to do and what they are not allowed to do as far as exercise, food, medications. I usually tell my patients, exercise, intercourse, it's okay as long as there is no bleeding or cramping.
I imagine this wouldn't be a great time to start up some, CrossFit craze, if you're a pregnant mom,
No.
if you're not laid out with morning sickness on your couch. Yeah. So what kind of exercise
But I
would you
usually
normally
tell my patients whatever you're used to do before you were pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
I've had patients that they never did any exercise. They said it's not the time to start.
Yeah.
Other patients that they are aerobic instructors where they are fitted and that's what they do all day.
Yeah.
They can continue with their lives as long as there is no bleeding or cramping.
Mm-hmm.
As far as diet, patients are allowed to eat basically everything. I tell them to avoid certain things. For example, not to eat raw fish
Mm-hmm.
because of the mercury,
Mm-hmm.
like sushi, for example. I told them to avoid the amount of caffeine, avoid the amount of alcohol. Caffeine tends to interfere with the absorption of the iron.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are not able to stop the caffeine completely, at least to minimize one cup a day,
Yeah.
let's say. But if things that can be avoided, the better.
Mm-hmm.
First trimester specifically for medications. Now, there are certain medicines that you can take, Tylenol, for example, if there is pain. If you can avoid any exposure, it's the best the first trimester, but it's okay to take some medications over the counter. I take advantage also to talk about smoking. If patients are smokers, we know smoking is not good for the patient anytime. And some patients are motivated to stop smoking at the beginning of the pregnancy.
Yeah, that's what my mom did back in the 70s. So she said
Yes.
it was one of the hardest things she'd ever done. So
And sometimes the pregnancies are enough reason for them to be motivated. So I take advantage of that also.
yeah.
Mainly this is the screening and the counseling we give on the first trimester.
Mm-hmm. Now, how many weeks pregnant are moms when they normally come into your practice for that first visit?
Like I said before, there are
If
patients...
they know that they're pregnant.
Yes, we have patients that come right away 2 weeks before, and that creates sometimes some kind of anxiety because sometimes the uterus is not enlarged enough to be able to say that they are pregnant with a pelvic exam. So we have to do other testing. Sometimes they come so early that the ultrasound cannot even pick up a gestational sac.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason we have to do some HEG levels.
Yeah.
If the HEG is going up, that means that the pregnancy is in this right place
Yeah.
and everything is normal. If they start experiencing the symptoms, we know that HEG is going up. Other patients come in a little bit later. Some patients come in on the second trimester because they didn't even find out that they were pregnant because they had a history of irregular periods and they didn't know that was a pregnancy.
Yeah. Well, with those HCG levels rising up, I remember being so sick. That was the one thing, Janine, you talked about being laid out on the couch of just, I kept thinking to myself of like, okay, I've had losses before, but this means that it's a healthy baby.
Yes.
Exactly.
That the health, and so that's one thing I held into when I felt like, dear God, just kill me right now,
Yes.
So yeah.
You're right. I
Yeah.
do remember thinking the same thing.
Mhm.
But at
Yes.
least it's a good sign that HEG is going up and your baby is alive.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
your embryo is alive and you have a intrauterine pregnancy that's going to do
Yeah.
better. It's the best case scenario.
All right, well, thanks to Dr. Levine for joining us today. For more information about Dr. Levine and his OBGYN practice, as well as information about any of our panelists, visit the episode page on our website. This conversation continues for members of our Preggy Pals Club. After the show, Dr. Levine will share his advice to moms. Now, we're in the middle of the flu season right now, and, you hear things about the flu shot. Should you get the flu shot? Should you not get the flu shot? What type of flu shot should you get? So we're going to continue with that after this in the bonus content.
Hello, Preggy Pals. I am Cynthia Caden, founder of Trick My Crib Nursery and Kids Room Designs, where I help your nursery dreams come true. I'm excited to talk to you today about saving money in the baby's room. Having a baby is a special time in life, and it's nice to make the baby's space really special too. It's nice to place a few items in the baby's space that really pop, and you don't necessarily have to spend a fortune on them. I love the idea of refurbishing old dressers, picture frames, shelves, or bookcases. You can put amazing colors and designs on these types of items with a little paint and imagination. I also love the idea of creating beautiful, eye-catching items in the baby's space with fabric, knitting something, making a quilt, or creating a decorative pillow for the rocking chair. These are all ways to add lovely special pieces to the space without breaking the bank. Other ideas include customizing curtains with your own loving detail. You might add fabric butterflies, something sparkly, lace, shapes, or even use fabric paint to create your own masterpiece for your baby. For example, white curtains with baby's handprints or messages to baby would be a priceless treasure with minimal cost. The possibilities are endless on these types of do-it-yourself projects, and the items you design and create with your own heart and hands become meaningful family heirlooms. I can help you think of ideas as part of my flat fee design service. Please like Trick My Crib on Facebook and visit my page often for decorating ideas. Thanks for listening to today's money-saving tips, and be sure to listen to Preggy Pals for more great pregnancy tips in the future.
That wraps up our show for today. We appreciate you listening to Preggy Pals. Don't forget to check out our sister shows, Parent Savers, for parents with newborns, infants, and toddlers, our show The Boob Group for moms who breastfeed their babies, and our new show Twin Talks for parents of twins. Next week, we are talking about resuming your sexual relationship with your partner after pregnancy. This is Preggy Pals, your pregnancy, your way.
This has been a New Mommy Media production. The information and material contained in this episode are presented for educational purposes only. Statements and opinions expressed in this episode are not necessarily those of New Mommy Media and should not be considered facts. While such information and materials are believed to be accurate, it is not intended to replace or substitute for professional medical advice or care, and should not be used for diagnosing or treating healthcare problem or disease or prescribing any medication. If you have questions or concerns regarding your physical or mental health or the health of your baby, please seek assistance from a qualified healthcare provider.
Hey mamas, don't forget to check out Mighty Moms. It's our online community built for new moms just like you. Not only can you connect with other moms, but you can also join us backstage for special mom-only online events. And you'll also be notified when we're recording so you can join us as a special guest. Visit our website, newmommymedia.com, and click on the Mighty Moms banner. It's free. That's newmommymedia.com. See you there.